So at the end of the previous video, I realized I made some mistakes in my measuring, just due to sort of rushing through and focusing more on making the video than sort of what I was doing. And I mean, that can happen if you're busy, if you're thinking about something else, or even if you're just new and kind of like focusing on the code and everything. Sometimes you can make some mistakes in your numbers. So here I have my mockup. I'm going to reopen my HTML file. And before I move on, I'm going to go ahead and just fix those real fast. So my first mistake was this width here. One, it was an estimate, which isn't the best idea, but then two, I was estimating based on my mockup at 75% and not its actual size. So I have this in pixels. I'm going to use my marquee tool. Zoom in so I can be very specific with my pixels. I'm just going to measure across my whole table. And so this should be 1030. So, only off by over 300 pixels, no big deal. So we're going to save that. Just go ahead and open this real fast, just so I can check occasionally and make sure that I don't accidentally mess anything up or break anything. So the next thing was this width here was way off. Even based on 700, it was still off. It should have been 694, but that's kind of irrelevant now because the width itself was off. So 1030 minus 6, so 1024. And let's see, where else did I have that? So it was wrong there, so 1024. Oops, actually Command C instead of Command V, so Command C and Command V to paste it, and paste it there as well. These are already fine because these I measured with the marquee tool, so all that should be fine. Replace that. So every instance where it says 696, I'm going in and I'm fixing it. Luckily, I found that error now, and not when the page was finished with all the different pages that I have to then go in and rebuild or fix. Alright, so everything looks good, looks the same. Oh, I forgot. Before I get too much further, I do want to see if I can find the code for that copyright symbol, because remember before, it was being weird and it was giving me that extra symbol because I wasn't using an HTML friendly code. So I'm just going to search for the alt code for the copyright symbol. So this is what I want. So I actually don't want the alt code. I actually wanted the Unicode number, but I couldn't remember the name for it, and I knew that this would bring up what I needed normally. So now I can add that down here. If I save it, just go ahead and go back. Hopefully, there we go. So it works just the way that I want. Now in my mockup, I have a little bit of extra space between the 2014 and the word the, and I want that extra space here too. Keep in mind, white space doesn't matter. So it has the space here, yes, but it only has one. And it's because white space doesn't matter. It gets rid of that extra space. Considers it a duplicate, considers it repetitive. So if I want to make sure that I have the extra space there, I actually need the Unicode. That's that word that we just saw a moment ago, which is HTML friendly. So I need the Unicode for a space bar. This ampersand #32 semicolon. So if I put that in there where that space was and save it, let's see if it works. Nothing. Let's try again. Yeah, this isn't helpful. Actually, I do kind of remember it. It's like ampersand NMSP, something like that. NBSP, there we go. So that's actually what we're looking for. that creates a space in our text. So if we take this code and we drop it a few times in here, we save it, we refresh, there we go. I can see there's a little bit more space there. It'll take a long time to find that code. Well, I couldn't even find it. To remember it and then find it. So now we want to replace this and this with this and that. And that takes a little bit longer. Well, actually, it won't be too bad, because this first one, I have all these images that will greatly help me. So if you remember, I have my menu blue bar, I've got my buttons, and that's really about all I need. So I just drop them into a table, make some rows, drop those in, and we're good. This area above it would just be a spacer. So that's really pretty easy, actually. This TD, where'd it go? This TD right here, this is the one that we're looking at. This is the one that what the menu will be. This is the spacer. This is the main content. So we'll put that here. So menu. Actually, I want this inside of the TD. It doesn't really matter. I just want it there since it says menu table and not menu TD. This is just a spacer. You can go ahead and even put that in there if we want. So just spacer. And then this will be main content table. Although that kind of says the same thing as this, but I don't know, maybe middle section table, or I don't know, middle, typing hard, middle section table. And I'm not going to get rid of this spacer, because I'm going to use that same spacer for this top part before I add this in there. So I need this color, which is this. So I'll copy and paste this right here. And if I save it and refresh, there we go. Keep that spacer in there. That spacer should be how tall? Let's see. And does my blue bar have stuff above it? I don't remember if it has lavender above it. It does not. Alright. So this should be 20 pixels tall. That's what that said. Yes, 20. So just 20. We're actually going to put this into a table. So we're going to go ahead and make a new table. This table is only going to be a little space here. Open that up. So we've got that first row, that's just the spacer. We'll close that out. And we'll close out that row. The next one is basically just a spacer as well, so I'm just going to copy and paste it. Now I don't need the width or the height, because it is actually already the height and width it needs to be. And that is my menu underscore blue hyphen bar dot JPEG. So once again, the images folder, menu underscore blue hyphen bar dot JPEG. So that finishes that tag, or that row. And next are these. I could do a spacer. Actually, I probably should do a spacer. I'm not the most excited about trying to do BR tags there. It might cause things to be a little weird. So I think I'm going to have each spacer be that much, so 14 pixels. And then the bottom one will probably be a little bit bigger because the bottom of things is normally just a little bit bigger. That's just what looks right to us. So I'll have another one. This one will be 14. And is my distance between them the same? So the distance between them looks like it's around 15, but I'll go ahead and just keep it for 14. Then if it doesn't look right, then I'll change it. So I just copy and pasted that blue bar, which isn't what it's going to say. It's going to say about. So that's a JPEG. And we'll have a spacer, and then we'll have clouds. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this. So we have a spacer, and now we can do clouds. So menu underscore clouds.jpg, and we'll paste again. And next is reviews. And next, since I only made 4, next would have to be contact. So we'll add in another transparent GIF, the spacer right here above the blue line. We're going to make this one maybe 16. I think that will look pretty decent. Then I need my blue bar and another spacer. So blue bar, and spacer, and table. So that should be my menu, and I think that looks pretty good. Just indenting them a little bit more so they don't get confused with this. So go ahead and save that, and let's take a look. There we go. That is something interesting is going on. And what would that be? Why is it so big? I'm not sure why. Oh, I think I know why it's that big. No, I don't. Alright, so I'm not quite sure what's going on, so I'm going to go ahead and remove my table. I'm going to save it. I just did Command X, so I still have it, and refresh. Looks normal for the most part. Looks fine. If I add it back in, all of a sudden it goes nuts. For some reason it's pushing it way over here. It's making it super huge. And I'm not sure why. Oh, because I didn't write a new one and I copied and pasted this from there, it's using this at 1024. So, yeah, good job. This is also why you want to frequently save and refresh and see if it's working right. Because if you don't notice a little error like that, and you've done like 20 minutes of work, 30 minutes of work, you don't know where to look because you've done so many things. So it's good to keep going back and forth, so that way you can start to hunt for where the problem is.